acted into solid barriers or other vehicles under tightly controlled conditions. The year 1989 marked a major milestone in Volkswagen's history, as the company produced its 50th millionth car. Reaching 50 million vehicles demonstrated Volkswagen's enduring appeal and ability to maintain strong sales and a loyal customer base across the globe. The second-generation Golf and Jetta were built on what Volkswagen called the A2 platform. This was a very new technology back then. They also used old-style drawings and real-world testing for this. Volkswagen engineers had taken the first Golf design and made it better and more advanced. By 1989, the A2 models were fully developed products. First shown in 1983 and 1984 in North America, the design had been made better over several years. Engineers had planned every part down to the smallest bolt. They made detailed drawings and rules that would guide how the cars were built. This platform was a significant evolution from the first generation, offering improved safety, better handling, and more interior space. The platform approach allowed Volkswagen to share components between models, improving manufacturing efficiency while maintaining distinct vehicle identities. The body structure featured improved crash protection compared to earlier models, with reinforced passenger compartments and designed crumple zones. Safety was becoming an increasingly important selling point, and the production process included numerous checks to ensure these safety systems were properly implemented. As cars moved down the assembly line, interior components were installed. Dashboards arrived pre-assembled from supplier facilities with wiring harnesses and electronics already integrated. Seats, door panels, and trim pieces followed in a carefully orchestrated sequence. Workers had to be mindful of not damaging the freshly painted surfaces while installing these components. Each car's electrical system underwent thorough testing before final assembly was completed. Technicians checked that lights, indicators, wipers, and other electrical components functioned properly. Any issues were addressed before the vehicle moved to the next station. This electrical testing became increasingly important as cars incorporated more electronic features. The addition of the engine, known as marriage in automotive manufacturing terms, was a critical moment in the assembly process. The powertrain was raised from below and carefully aligned with mounting points on the body. Robots guided the powertrain in position and secured it with precisely torqued bolts. This process required both mechanical precision and physical strength. In 1989, the Golf and Jetta were available with several engine options. Gasoline engines ranged from economical 1.3-liter units to more powerful 1.8-liter versions. Diesel engines were growing in popularity, particularly in Europe, with both naturally aspirated and turbocharged options available. Each engine type required slightly different installation procedures and connections. Once the powertrain was installed, fluids such as engine oil, coolant, brake fluid, power steering fluid, and windshield washer fluid were added. Each fluid level was checked and adjusted as necessary. This was followed by the installation of wheels and final underbody components. The completed car then underwent a series of functional tests. The engine was started and run at various speeds, while technicians listened for unusual noises and monitored gauge readings. The alignment was checked and adjusted if necessary. Brakes were tested on specialized equipment to ensure proper function and balance. Headlights were aimed precisely using alignment equipment. Water testing was particularly important. Each vehicle passed through a water test booth where powerful sprays simulated heavy rainstorms. Inspectors inside the car looked for any signs of water infiltration around doors, windows, sunroofs, and body seams. Any leaks were documented and repaired before the car could proceed. The final drive test evaluated the car's performance in actual driving conditions. Test drivers followed specific routes designed to reveal any issues with handling, braking, acceleration, or comfort. They listened for squeaks, rattles, or wind noise that might indicate assembly problems. These drivers developed a keen sense for how a properly built Golf or Jetta should feel and sound. If you're enjoying this in-depth look at Volkswagen's manufacturing history, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support allows us to continue bringing you these detailed explorations of automotive heritage. Quality control documentation in 1989 was still largely paper-based, with inspection sheets following each car through the assembly process. These documents recorded checks performed, issues found, and corrections made. This paper trail provided accountability and allowed for tracking of recurring problems. Today, these same processes would be handled by computerized systems, but the fundamental approach to quality verification remains similar. The production schedule was carefully managed to balance efficiency with quality. While the goal was to produce as many vehicles as possible, rushing could lead to mistakes. Supervisors monitored the pace of work, adjusting as needed to maintain the right balance. Workers were encouraged to report problems rather than passing defects down the line. Logistics was another critical aspect of production. Just-in-time inventory systems were beginning to be implemented, reducing warehouse costs but requiring reliable deliveries from suppliers. Components had to arrive at the factory in the right quantities and at the right times to prevent production interruptions. This complex choreography of parts and materials was managed by a dedicated logistics team. The factory environment itself was challenging. Noise levels were high in many areas, particularly in the press and welding shops. Heat was an issue near ovens and curing areas. Physical demands varied by department, with some roles requiring strength, while others demanded fine motor skills and attention to detail. Workers adapted to these conditions, developing the specific skills their positions required. The fall of the Berlin Wall in November 1989 had significant implications for Volkswagen's production. As East and West Germany began the process of reunification, Volkswagen quickly moved to integrate Eastern automotive facilities into its production network. The Zwickau plant in former East Germany would soon begin producing Golf models, bringing Western manufacturing techniques to the Eastern workforce. For many workers at Wolfsburg, 1989 was a time of both pride and uncertainty. Pride in the quality and popularity of the vehicles they produced, but uncertainty about the changing automotive market and increasing global competition. Japanese manufacturers were gaining market share with reliable, efficient cars that challenged European dominance. Volkswagen was feeling this pressure and working to adapt its production methods accordingly. The second-generation Golf